Hello and welcome everybody to a new video. Today I'm going to be seeing if the V6 Escudo Pikes Peak Special is usable in the World Touring Car 800. Now, let's say you're not a professional tuner and you can't tune cars properly in Gran Turismo, like me. And all you do is upper the weight, I should say, so you can fit within the performance point limit. Well, that's just what I've done. And I want to see if this thing is in any way competitive, because I don't know the size of the fuel tank, I don't know how long tyres will last on something that drives like this. I'm assuming the tyres won't last long, and I'm assuming this thing burns through fuel. Of course, I can't guarantee that, because I'm yet to try it. But I've got it just within the performance points limit. And the reason why I didn't do any crazy tuning is because I don't have much time to actually record today, because I wasted a lot of time gaining credits and stuff, and then was like, oh no! Look at the time, damn it! Because sadly I still need to sleep, because school. Especially when there's a test the following day. Yeah. So, I'm starting in the back of the grid, obviously. We're going to get to this 10-lap race, and we want to see if we can achieve anything. Now, I'm going to set the fuel map all the way back, although I don't know how much that's actually going to help. Well, I guess I'm going to find out. Now, I don't know how this thing will corner. I remember it understeers a lot and then oversteers violently. But this one actually isn't, I just realised, because I haven't done any crazy tuning to it so I think it more or less just understeers, and I've put more ballast on the front. So, actually, I think I've sorted the tuning out pretty well. Now it's a question of how long the fuel lasts. This actually handles pretty well. I can feel the handling, and it has got the power to overtake, because I haven't screwed with the downforce or the power at all. I have not put the high RPM turbo on this though, because that would go like way out the power limit, and then I have to start decreasing power anyway, and then you'd also have more turbo lag, I think, as well. So I don't think you particularly want that. But its handling is very, very good. And since it doesn't rain on this track, you only need racing hard tyres. I mean, it doesn't rain as of update 1.17, I should say, because if you're watching this in the future, which is probably more likely, because as I gain more popularity on YouTube, slowly but surely, more people will be able to see these videos like this. So, yeah. But look at this thing's gaining some serious overtakes. So, it does need to be in the high RPM range to get any power out of it still. But that's sort of expected. And it is built as a rally car. That's why the car understeers so much stock. It's built for dirt. It's not like it's built for a road track. That's why it understeers so much stock. And I have not done anything to the suspension. So this is stock suspension, or stock for this race car. But as you can see, if you're outside the power band of this car, which is really high up in the RPM range, you get no power, like almost nothing. I estimate you're somewhere in the 400, 500 horsepower range instead of the normal 900. But the thing is, the way I positioned the weight, I positioned it forward, so we got a 50-50 weight distribution. And with something with all-wheel drive and a short wheelbase and downforce, it feels brilliant to drive, absolutely marvellous. And the fuel is lasting, at least for the moment. And keep in mind, I've got this on the lowest fuel map. So, we are going to be saving a huge quantity of fuel. And I am shifting slightly early. I don't know if it's making too much of a difference to our overall power or fuel efficiency. But either way, we are catching up with the competition ahead. So, it does understeer a bit through these high speed, well, high to medium speed, long stretching corners. It does seem to understeer. But of course, I'm a bit scared to tap the handbrake, because I feel like it will lose all ability to stay on the track if I slam the handbrake, because there are points on the track where it does lean a little bit to the side of less grip. But for the most part, this thing is phenomenally quick, extreme speed. Down the straights it is very fast, despite having more downforce in the cars ahead. Therefore, due to this big wang on the back, it produces a lot more drag, even compared to that GTR next to us, which has also got a pretty sizable wang. But this one, this is the big wang. Oh, we're going through the corner here. But I actually think this thing's handling very, very well. It understeers Which I guess with something with this much power, it's a lot better than seeing it oversteer through every corner. Because I think if this thing with this much power oversteered through every corner, I wouldn't be able to drive it. I mean, maybe I could, because I actually generally prefer slightly oversteery cars to understeery cars, because I spend a lot more time going way too fast in the corners, and then shaving off speed by drifting, which ain't good for your tyres, but it looks cool. And when you overtake somebody doing that, it is very amusing, I must say. We are catching up with the leaders just a little bit, but it also begs the question how long the fuel will last. Whoa, have I braked late? Yes, I have a little bit. And I don't know if that cut the corner or not. I was trying to check fuel maps, but even down the long straight, due to this thing's speed, you don't have much time to do such a thing. Okay, where are we at? I don't know if we'll be able to run the whole race, but I don't know how often these guys pit. I think they do one pit stop. And I don't know if we'll be able to run one pit stop. I mean, maybe if you properly feel safe, maybe I'll like properly feel safe at the end. And be like, yeah, that'll work. That's mildly scary, because we're not even through lap 3. I don't think we'll have enough fuel to run to the end. But we are faster than the opposition, so maybe the outright sheer pace of this thing will catch us up. Actually, we will only have to do one stop like everybody else, and we are faster than them by a few seconds a lap, because we are gaining time even on the leader in the Viper SRT GT3. I think it's a GT3R is the rest of that, but I don't actually remember. I own the Viper GT3, but I don't remember the full name of it. But this thing handles great. This is a great thing for doing this event. Absolutely brilliant, actually. I think this thing handles better than any Group 3 car, even with stock suspension. So just chuck some weight on there, like 195 kilos I think I've got in the ballast, and then sit it 10 to the front. So level 10 to the front, and it is phenomenal. It is actually brilliant. This thing feels like it's glued to the track at this point. It's handling marvelously. And I guess if you really feel efficient with it and know what you're doing in terms of fuel saving, you could probably also fuel save to the end of the race, making this a very good vehicle for events for Group 3. Because it does appear to run very well like this. So, I'm actually very happy with the way this thing's handling. Of course, you can only use racing hard tyres because of the performance points limits. Because if we was using racing softs, I'd have to limit the power and probably set the weight to a stupid spot and screw with the suspension and everything to probably get it within the performance points limit. But with this setup, it is brilliant. Like, we're 8 seconds off the leaders, which really isn't too bad, considering it's lap 4. And I feel like we got opportunity to win here. Oh, through the corner we go. Yes. We might have to pit really late in the race if we do have to pit. But even so, this is... You've got to try this. Anybody watching this, after you finish watching the video, because I like my watch time, try this out. This is brilliant. This thing handles phenomenally. I wonder how it'll handle in other Group 3 events, because this thing's doing so well in this one. And the Merc has pitted, so I actually want to know how well this thing will perform in other Group 3 events. And I think this thing might... No, I don't think it'll be quite fast enough to perform in Group 1, because of just the turbo lag and the oversteer and all of that. I mean, it more understeers, but I think it's the turbo lag that'll screw it over in Group 1. And I think also the fact that you're going to have a little lower fuel map in Group 1 as well, which will limit your power greatly, even with the high RPM turbo. So I think Group 3 is where this car should be used predominantly. Maybe even Group B, because they're similar spec to the Group 3 cars. And since this thing is a rally car, it should perform heroically well in those sort of events. I think it'll be brilliant for those events as well. Even though the rally physics in this game do need a bit of a revamp, it is still very, very good to have a car like this. And I think this thing will perform very well in rally events. Because this thing was built for rally. It was built for Pikes Peak, and at the time this thing raced on Pikes Peak, it was a dirt track. Or I think it was partly dirt. And it handles phenomenally on track with this setup. So, try this out. I actually thought it was going to handle horribly, which is why I'm so surprised about this. But it's actually phenomenal. Now, from what I can see, unless you're probably fuel saving, you're not going to run the whole race on one tank of fuel. I didn't even check the fuel use, he said. But I like the way this thing handles. Even with the turbo lag needing to be in a high RPM range, it's not too bad because once you get the gearing right... Well, these guys pit really early. Like, I think the majority of these cars will finish the race on one stop, but they stop midway through the race. I don't until the end of the race. So my goal right now will be to gain some ground on the cars there. And then at the end of the race, when we pit in, we'll hopefully pit out ahead of them. Hopefully. Because I've got nothing in my way to slow down my lap. I'm just gonna run it. And this is brilliant. It handles. It drives like a monster. Like, it's great. I'm actually so incredibly surprised at how this thing's handling. Like, try this yourself. You really got to. This, if you're struggling with a Group 3 event, I think this thing will solve all your problems. I really think it will. And it's only with adding ballast. I didn't even change anything else. You don't even need to buy the high RPM turbo or anything else. Just spend 800 credits on a ballast and 1.7 million on the car. Which I'm assuming most people have by this point, because it's a very iconic car and everybody wanted to purchase it. So, under the assumption you have the vehicle that costs you 1.7 million credits, you only need to spend another 800 credits to get in a ballast, and you're winning Group 3 events. This thing is so good. It just is so good. Like, it's unbelievable. And tyre wear isn't too bad. Yes, it's a bit worse in the front, but it's not as bad as some other Group 3 cars even. I think other Group 3 cars have worse tyre wear than this. Even the... Like, because I know they're all rear-wheel drive. But I think some of the Group 3 cars even have tyre wear worse than this, despite them being lighter. Actually, I'm not sure if they are lighter than this. I think some of them might be lighter than this with the ballast, because this thing's got a 200 kilos worth of ballast on them. No, 195 kilos of ballast. I don't want to confuse people. They're trying to tune this setup. I'll show you the setup at the end, although I've already mentioned it, and I think I've briefly shown the setup. I think, if I remember correctly. I don't know, maybe I haven't. I'll show you at the end, don't worry. This thing handles marvelously though. I keep saying that, but it really does. Like, it's far beyond my expectations. I thought it was going to handle like something I'd have to, like, try and slide my way around every corner. I don't know why I thought that. I think it's because I've tried it with different setups that didn't work quite as well. Because I tried to set it up like a normal race car. You don't do that. It doesn't work like a normal race car. You don't set it up like a normal race car. Because I tried to set it up the same way I'd set up a Group 3 car or a Group 1 car. And it doesn't work like that. It needs to be... Like, the stock setup runs really well on tarmac because it manages the power well. Like, because you're not oversteering, the power's managed very, very well. You've got the grip you need to get around the track at speed, and it's brilliant, that. Now, I don't know if I could win this event for one reason. How long does this pit stop take? Like, maybe I can get it done in time, but maybe it's better if you, like, fuel save and run it to the end. But I'm going to try and do the easier way out, which is not fuel save, and just try and get clean-ish laps all the way through. Because obviously if I was going to fuel save, I'd have to be doing that a couple of laps earlier than I am now. But this thing's great. It really is. And I guess next lap I'm going to be refueling. So end of lap 8. Whoa. Well, I also haven't got any penalties. I might have just jinxed that because I might get a penalty now. I don't know how strong penalties are for this event in particular. But either way, I've been running this very, very well. And this has been a phenomenally handling car. Like, it handles marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. Unbelievably. Like, I think this thing handles better than any Group 3 car. Like, of course, you can't exactly be on the power all the way through the corners. You gotta, like, lift off, maybe coast it at certain points around the track, and then power on when you know you're gonna be out in the straight at the end, you know? You just need to power it on when you've actually made it through the corner. Which I guess is how you should drive the majority of the cars in this game. That's how the majority of them should be driven. So I think this might be a really good learning car for driving other cars, because I feel like the way most cars should be driven in this game is to like have low power through the corners, not powering on and off through the corners like I see a lot of people do online. They get on the power and off the power and on the power and off the power, and even I'm guilty of this in many different vehicles, but this one, not so much. The only reason I do it in this car is to keep the turbo split. Like, it's not like I actually really have to, except I am still either way, because of course I haven't completely ironed out that. But I think it's a really good training car, because I think you get the fastest times around circuit with this car. You do need, oh, one thing about this pit lane for this track, do not leave that line. If you exit through that line there, you get a large penalty that you don't want. Don't change tyres, we'll fill up just enough fuel. Make sure I've got enough, so I overfilled it a little bit there to make sure I had enough fuel just in case. And we should be out of the pit lane, maybe ahead. This is going to be very close. This is indeed going to be very close. Come on, out the pit lane, go, go, go! Out the pit lane, come on! Come on! Oh, there's so much more pit lane. The Aston's going to overtake. Is he? No! Haha! Yes, yes, we are in! This is brilliant. I did not change the tyres, which I think I'm happy I didn't. Oh, yes. We are ahead. So you can do this without heavily fuel saving. Just put it off fuel max 6 and run the car around the track. Oh, that's great. That's great news. That makes this event a lot easier for anybody struggling with it. I don't know if anybody is actually struggling with this event, because I don't think it's very difficult, but this car runs it very, very well. Like, it's great for events like this. Oh, yes. It's so good. This car's phenomenal. I've said it so many times, but this is well worth the 1.7 million credits. If you haven't brought it, buy it before it leaves to the Legends dealership, because who knows when it's coming back. Seriously, save your 1.7 million credits. It'll take you, I don't know, I think if you do the Le Mans event, which is my favourite event to do, the Group 4 Le Mans event, you'd probably get this car in what? Hour and a half? And I feel like an hour and a half is decent for getting something this usable for Group 3 events, which are many events I've been stuck on, but at the same time I didn't realise how good this car actually was at Group 3. And I'm assuming going to be really good in Group B as well. But here we go. We're about to start our final lap. And we are 11 seconds ahead. And we have set fastest lap of the race as well. And since I haven't got any penalties so far, and I don't think I've flown too far off the track, and I haven't hit the other cars, I don't think, I might even get a clean race bonus. And I don't know how many credits that actually gives you for this event in particular, but this car seems to be very, very good in terms of performance for this sort of event. Even though the Aston Martin stayed out, this car performs very, very well. Like, even with dead tyres, I'm still only half a second slower through these sections. Now, the chicane, you might be a bit slower and through the twistier parts of the track due to tyre wear at the end, but you'll definitely still be ahead of the V12 Vantage. So, this car is still phenomenal. See, I'm going to get better at driving it though, because my exit speeds are suffering due to me on and off the throttle through the corner. Oh no! It just lost grip then. Well, that's not what you want to see. Maybe I've lost my clean race bonus, but oh well. I'm still going to win the race. I don't know why I lost grip then. It felt so solid until that point. I think maybe it's just tyre wear, the amount of tyres I've lost. That's a bit sad. Last lap I might have just lost my clean race bonus. But this is brilliant. Brilliant handling car. Oh, here we go. It is great though. It really is. I've said it so many times, but it is. It's marvellous. I keep saying it because I'm shocked. I really am at how marvellous this car is. Like, I don't know, you've probably watched maybe another video of somebody doing this, but I haven't seen any videos of anyone doing this. I mean, I guarantee somebody has, but I haven't watched any videos on it. So, all I'm going to say is this thing's a beast for events like this. Absolutely beastly. Now, do I keep my clean race bonus? Probably not. Let's see if we've got it. No, we don't. Oh, well. That was kind of expected. I flew off the track in the last lap, so. Also, I don't know if I've showed you the setup already, so I'll have to exit here apparently. I thought you could check the setup before you leave the event, but apparently not. So, I'm just going to go to the garage for 2 reasons. One, I always end the video in the garage, and 2, you can see the setup if I haven't already showed you the setup. Hopefully I have. Maybe I haven't, but hopefully I have. I'm not sure if I showed you the setup at the start of the video. I was supposed to. Okay, here we go. This is the setup. Same as the standard car, nothing modified, no large turbo or anything. All this is still stock. That's still what it is originally when you get it. Even racing hard tyres, you get that with the vehicle. And this is all I've done. 194 on the ballast, and ballast positioning -10. So that's more to the front. That's it. But now that you've got that, now that you know this vehicle is brilliant for events like this, I'm going to end the video here. And I'm going to hope you enjoyed. And if you did, remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.